All right, we're live. Welcome, everybody. Let me, I guess, turn on my light. So I'm already dark enough. I need to get a little bit of light on me. Just a little bit. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Get everybody start piling in here.
Hey, guys.
Let's see. I didn't got my comments on you. Are you seeing anybody come in yet, Travis?
Not yet.
Okay. Man, we got a crazy show. Woo. We got the Niners and Mac Jones conference. I ain't gonna say controversy. I don't know if it's controversial. We just, they like who they like, and everybody else in the world feels like they're idiots for it. We got rumors about Julio Jones or Julio Jones, because it can't be both.
Thank you.
To get traded.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got LSU women's basketball. They got a new hire in, which may change their whole program.
She's off the chain.
And bam, and Irv, here you go. So we got that going on, and then we got Charles Barkley is actually, having some beef, barking at them Georgia fans. He had some comments about the young Southern Belles and Georgia, I guess the Peach Girls. He had some comments about that. We got Kanye West had a tennis shoe, the Yeezy shoe, go for $1.8 million. We're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, we got other stuff on here. We ain't gonna exclude Brett Favre ass. We're gonna get at him. We're not going to exclude the LeBron James tweets and all that. So we're gonna get at him as well.
Hey,
so
Mr.
jam-packed show, man.
Mr. Butler, how y'all doing?
And I get to make an announcement today.
Uh-oh. Oh yeah,
I got one question before we get started. Irv,
what's happening?
Are you gonna show us the shoes?
Not from my house. No, indeed.
I mean, Irv, you ain't got to fake. We know you got it like that.
Irv got the Yeezys. Irv got the Yeezys, baby.
He said 1.8 light work.
1.8, yeah. Yeah, that's light work for something that's going to be gone.
I know you had to dig in both pockets, but I know you got
it. Both. Then I got a knife, I need to cut my arm off for that.
Shit, he had to dig in both pockets, my pockets, Travis' pockets, Travis' parents' pockets, my uncle's pockets,
Miss Phoebe's pocket, Mr. Butler's pocket.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
I only like paying $200 for shoes.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. All right, well, I'm going to drop off. We'll get this theme music and get this party started.
All right, man.
All right. Yeah, that was ridiculous when I saw that.
Then we're gonna talk about it. That's insane. I agree with you.
Play the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats, the this and that to keep this show on point. And when we're done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey, yo, let's get it poppin'.
Sometime I welcome you straight from the hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you live from the Exalted Palace here on Black Mania. With us today, we also have Mr. Travis Butler. How you doing, Travis?
I'm doing well. How are you guys today?
I'm doing all right. I mean, that's an ugly shirt you got on, but it is what it is.
Come on, it's a lovely shirt.
And then we have all the way from the what is DC now? What kind of capital is DC? From
it's still the district. The district of Columbia.
I know that. I'm saying, they normally say it's like the dope dealing capital of the world.
Oh, no, we want to keep this positive. We're going to say Chocolate City. Even though it's no
still
longer,
Chocolate City.
it's still the numbers is coming closer now.
I hear you. Well, all the way from Chocolate City, DC, we have Big Irv. Irv, what's going on, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Changing locations. I'm at the basketball court right now. Earlier,
I hear you. I know. We're going to talk about them shoes you were wearing out there, too. Here in a few. First of all, listen, speaking of people being in places that they were not, I don't know where this came from. I was getting all this smoke about me being at the National Soccer Museum or something like that. Thank you, Irv. Thank you, Irv. Jay, roll those pictures. I want everybody to see these pictures that were taken where somebody thought it was me out there, Irv. Now look at these pictures. When you see these pictures, you will clearly see that it was not me. Look right there.
Look, that looks close.
Look at these pictures.
Yeah.
Show some close up, Jay. Jay, show a couple more pictures, Jay. Clearly, you will see. Look right there.
Hey, Coach, you look good right there, man.
Look right there. That is black man all the way. That is not me. Black man was called in by the National Soccer Society to go down there and save soccer. You know, they were talking about all these super teams and all that. So he called me, say, hey, man, come on, go with me to Frisco, Texas, so we can save soccer. I said, Black, I can't do that. I said, if I were to do that, I would ruin myself on my show because people know I do not like soccer. So they say, he said, man, just come with me. Help me out. I said, Black, I can't do it. I can't do it. So there you see black man right there going into the National Soccer Hall of Fame. I just want everybody to see that is black man. It is not me. That's all I got to say. Clearly, you can see that black, he don't even look as good as I look. Look right there. I mean, get a close up, Jay. Look at that. He ain't even close to looking as good as I am. So that's clearly black man, Travis. I don't know why you thought that was me. I know he might have used my phone to say that we were there, whatever. That's black all the way.
Oh, okay.
That's black all the way.
Gotcha. Well, did Black have a good time there?
He said it was all right. You know, he said it was he said it was. It's so funny because you know we always talk about black and white. He said it wasn't a bunch of black people. There were a bunch of white people there. You know, a bunch of others there. You know how they had that other box that you check where you can't find who you are on that thing, that census when they send it out. He said a bunch of others there for that thing. I just want to get that clear from the beginning, from the jump on this show. Ms. Peavy, I hope you understand that. Everybody can stop bothering me, calling me, asking me about whether or not I was at the Soccer Hall of Fame. So now, moving right along. As we know, this coming Thursday, finally, the draft is here. After all these iterations of all these mock drafts, Travis wanted to do one last week. We told him, hell no. All this stuff going on. And I think it's just interesting to me that my favorite team, which is also Jason's favorite team, is the San Francisco 49ers. And there's been a lot of talk about what they're going to do at the third pick. Everybody thinks they're going to pick a quarterback. And they're thinking the quarterback, at least Las Vegas says, the best odds are going to be they're going to take Mac Jones from Alabama. First of all, Travis, what do you think about that?
I think they are going to take a quarterback, first of all. You don't trade up from, what were they, 12 to 3 and give up everything that they gave.
Jay, we're getting some feedback from somewhere. Go ahead, Travis.
I think that just cut it off, whatever you just did.
Yeah.
You don't move up from, I think, what they were 12, a few months ago, and they traded all the way up to 3. You don't trade and give up everything that they gave up to not go for a quarterback. So they're definitely going for a quarterback. Yes, all the rumors are saying Mac Jones. I'm still not sold that it's going to be him. I got a sneaky suspicion it may be Trey Lance, actually. I think he may be the guy. And I think they did say that the same report that's kind of leading Mac Jones, it said that it's down to Mac Jones and Trey Lance. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Trey Lance, actually. We can get a nice little shock early on for the NFL draft. I don't know how well he fits that system, but I'm not convinced it's going to be Mac Jones.
Okay, Irv.
Now, I don't remember if I said it or not. I thought I said Trey Lance was going to San Fran too.
Okay.
It's to me, it's either a quarterback or offensive lineman. But I just got a feeling with the last couple years with Garoppolo's injuries, I think that it's going to be a quarterback. I can't see him passing that up. Because what else do you guys need that's that important?
Right.
Well, here's my if you asking me, we need a whole lot. I mean, we need a whole lot of stuff.
Well, if you moved up to 3, yeah.
In my opinion, I think we could. I know our defense is good. I think it can be a lot better, but I don't think you can ever not have good enough good offensive and defensive linemen, because you're gonna win the games in the trenches. So anytime you get a chance to get make that better, okay. Jimmy G. Here's the thing about this is why I think it's hilarious, because long time ago when I was saying get rid of Jimmy G, they were holding on to him.
Yeah.
Like he was the chosen one. He was our future. So I just find it interesting that now they want to draft a quarterback because I guess they decided he's not the future. I'm watching all the sports shows I watched today. Everybody seems to think that Jimmy G will not be there. They're projecting he might go back to Belichick with the Patriots.
Yep.
So, at least there's somebody who believes in him and likes him. So it's going to be what it's going to be. So, hey, Joe Madden, good to see you, young lady. But I'm not, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Joe, do you think that Jimmy G is going to remain in San Francisco? I don't know. But I hope and pray that we get Trey Lance and not Mac Jones. I'm telling you right now on this show, I've been a 49er fan for probably about 30 years now at least. If we draft Mac Jones, I'm out. I'm done.
Like that?
Everybody keeps asking me, who's your new team going to be? Hell if I know. But it will not be. It will not be San Francisco. I hadn't decided yet who I'm going to go with, but I promise you, it will not be San Francisco if they draft Mac Jones. I'm done. See, I know y'all, Travis. Travis stick with his team no matter what.
Absolutely.
Cincinnati Bengals have had some of the worst drafts, some of the worst seasons on record in captivity. But Travis gonna stay with them because that's just how I'll be damned. And that's why fandom is all jacked up, because you got people like Travis who let them get away with anything. Let them get away with any damn thing. They're going to be there no matter what. Well, I'll be damned if that's me. So I'm telling you right now, draft Mac Jones, my ass is gone. Tell you that right now, point blank. Irv, what do you think? Talk to me.
Look, I'm kind of on the side with Travis. We kind of took a stand the last couple of years here in Washington, though, with all them crazy years that they done had, and became the lowest attended team in the National Football League for 3 years straight.
Well, there you go. Thank you. That's what you should do. If they're not giving you the damn product, don't go watch the damn game.
Yeah, but he's still a fan, though. You don't have to go to still not be a fan.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Travis, the only reason your ass ain't going is because it's damn 4,000 miles away. If it was the damn Atlanta Falcons, just like that damn jersey you got on now, your ass will be down there watching. So don't act like that's it. Don't act like that's not the reason why you don't go. If they were in town, if they were Cincinnati Bengals, and you lived in Cincinnati, your ass would be out there on the front row.
Maybe not the front row, but I'd be there.
I know. Like I said, that's what's wrong with fandom right there. That's crazy as hell. So anyway, moving right along. Now, this was some good news for me, but this would have been better news had it happened 5 years ago when I first said it should happen. The Falcons are finally talking about trading Julio Jones. I'm just going to let y'all comment on it while I catch my breath, because I'm about to explode up here. Irv, tell me what you think. We lose Irv. Travis, tell me what you think.
Yeah. little shocked, but then when you look at numbers and you look at salary cap, it makes sense. I think it's probably the right time for him to go. Especially Atlanta, they've been kind of struggling the last few years, obviously, and they had their window with, the Super Bowl, loss that we all know, and then the next year they lose in the playoffs as well, and ever since then, it's been going downhill. So, and Julio has definitely declined the last few years, both in terms of yardage and of course touchdowns. That's something that he doesn't get a lot of, as we all know. So it does not surprise me. I'm kind of with you, Coach. I know we've had this conversation. I probably would have done it a year or two ago. I know you were 3 or 4 years ago, if not 5. But I think it's the right time. Calvin Ridley's a good quality receiver, and he can definitely step into that number 1 role. They're at pick number 4, and if they want to take a guy like Devontae, Smith from Alabama or Chase from LSU, bingo, there you go. There's your new number 1, and it definitely makes sense. I don't know what they're going to get for him. I don't know what they want for him. I don't see any team given anything more than a 2 or a 3 for Julio Jones. So it'll be interesting to see what they can get for him.
I love seeing Jason. Jason got all these low lights for Julio Jones. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. That's how Julio Jones runs a fade route right there. He goes and tries to push off the guy, and that's how he runs a fade route. Look at this right here. That's not how you run a fade route. That's how he runs it. He goes and tries to just be a bully and try to watch this right here. Just being a bully and pushing off somebody. That's how he runs his route. Guys, here's the deal. Miss Hood, I know this is a shocker to Miss Hood. I'm just going to let's give like a half a second to Miss Hood so she can catch her breath. Because, Julio's her man. And she says he's still good to look at. Oh my God, look at Miss Hood. Miss Hood, bless your heart.
Yeah, I'm not watching football for that there, Miss Hood.
Miss Hood, bless your heart. But anyway, my thing is this. Jason just said it. Julio Jones is 32 years old right now. If they had done this 5 years ago, like I asked them to, and I said that they should have done, 5 years ago, he would have been 27 years old. A 27-year-old Julio Jones would have been a great trade at the time. A 32-year-old Julio Jones who has been through numerous injuries. I mean, one of the raps on him is he can't play a whole season.
Absolutely.
I mean, the bottom line is that with his injury record and everything else now, Julio Jones is not going to be worth very much on the trade block. He's just not. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. As much as I hate to say it, I know people might not believe this. Now, I don't think it's smart to trade Julio Jones. I say you keep him and you bring in somebody else. They're talking about they might get the big tight end from Florida and with the 4th pick. And that will be a lot to deal with if, Matt Ryan can get it together. And now you got that tight end, you got Julio, and you got the other wide receiver. What's the name? Number 18.
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley, thank you. You have the 3 of them. And, I mean, that's a lot for a defense to have to contend with if you have any type of running game.
Right.
So, I mean, my thing now is the smart move is go ahead and stay with him now.
Well, the only problem with that, and we haven't brought it up yet, is the salary cap problem that Julio presents and that the Atlanta Falcons are in. Right now, they hardly have any money to even be able to pay the guys they're going to be drafting as rookies. Like, they are straight, like, borderline on the salary cap, and his salary number is, somewhere in the double digits of millions. And, if they get him off the books, I believe after June 1, they save like $6 million out of the cap, which you got to think, just that's a big number for just, cutting a guy. So that they're in salary cap hell right now with Julio, and they really can't afford to keep him and Matt Ryan. So you kind of have to make a decision.
Well, people will watch all those highlights and say that a lot of those missed touchdowns were because of bad throws by Matt Ryan. Coach, if you're the GM and you have to choose one to let go of, Matt Ryan or Julio, who would you let go of?
I'm letting go of Julio. I'm letting go of Julio. I'm letting go of Julio because at the end of the day, Julio's a receiver. And we all know receivers start to decline with speed and strength and leaping ability and all of those things at that age. Whereas you can still be a reliable quarterback at that age. So just from that standpoint alone, I think it's smarter to keep the quarterback because he's more viable the older that he gets. Julio's been declining for years, and I've been on record as saying that, and everybody knows that. So, yeah, I know it's Julio. It ain't Julio, it's Julio.
Yeah, Julio Jones or Julio Holmes.
It can't be both. It's got to be Julio Jones or Julio Jones. It's got to be one or two. But don't tell me it's Julio Jones. I don't know what y'all doing with them J's. You can't just pick it one way or the other. I don't know where that came from.
Well, let's go, Travis. What compensation do you think the Falcons can get for Julio?
I think the max they're going to get is a second round pick, and I think that's for a team that's desperate to get a wide receiver that thinks that they're one player away, and just needs a wide receiver. But realistically, we've seen other wide receivers be traded over the years, and they typically don't go for much, especially he's 32, 33. Declining. I realistically think they're probably going to get about a third round pick for him.
All right, Coach, what do you think?
I wouldn't give a third round pick for him. I'm telling you that right now. I might give you 2 7s or 1 5 or something like that. I'm damn if you don't get a 3 for me. No, sir.
Like I said, 2022 and a 7 for 2023, huh?
No, I'm gonna give you a 7 for 2025 and 2035. That's what you're going to get from me. Now, I ain't going to give any more than that. I'm telling you that now. Dude, he's shot out. I've already said this. They don't even use him in the red zone. And you just saw why. He is so ineffective in the red zone, it's not even funny. I'm telling you. If and when he goes in the Hall of Fame, they're going to say he was the best receiver ever between the 30s. From 30 to 30, he's a bad man. You get inside the 30, take his ass off the field. I mean, his production just goes down so bad in the red zone. I know we say the red zone is inside the 20, but in the NFL, it's really not. It's really like the 25 or the 30. So the bottom line is he is so ineffective in there that for years now, at least the last 3 years, I see them take him out of the game totally when they get down to the red zone. Bless his heart.
I love how it says rare up there.
Bless his heart.
Oh my goodness.
They put the close
Here you go, Coach.
That was last year. National TV I saw. Bless his heart. Look at that. I told y'all let that man retire. I said let him retire. Look at that. That's just sad to watch. And that's supposed to be a Hall of Fame. Supposed to be a Hall of Fame. Look at that ball went straight through his hand. Straight through his hand. That's your boy. That's your boy, Miss Hood. That's your boy. I hope he turns into a model or something for Miss Hood. It was ruled incomplete. There you go. So, guys, I've been saying this for a long time. And if he does get traded, I mean, whatever. I mean, I hope he goes somewhere other than here and wins a Super Bowl if he gets traded. I mean, I really do. Because like I said, I would love to see him with a ring. I'd love to see a lot of people with a ring. I just don't want to see him in a Falcon jersey with a ring because this fandom don't deserve it. That's my opinion.
Well, Chris Butler asks, Coach, why is he bad between the 30 and goal line?
He's good between the 30, Mr. From 30 to 30, he's the guy. He runs the slants. He does this, that, and other. When he gets down closer to the goal line, he's ineffective because he's just not a good route runner down there. He likes to beat people on the crosses across. Julio runs about 4 routes. He runs a go route. He'll run a post. He'll run a slant, and then he runs that crossing route. Those are his primary routes. Very rarely do you see him run a curl. Very rarely do you see him run a comeback, in a post corner. You don't see him run those type of routes. And I mean, those are the basic routes that you see wide receivers run, especially down in the red zone. They're going to run a post corner or a slant go or something like that, a slant corner. And Julio doesn't run those routes well. And that's why they take his ass out when they get down there in the red zone. Irv, you back with us? Uh-oh, can't hear you, Irv. Unmute yourself. We still don't have Irv back all the way yet. We'll get him back here in a second.
Working on it. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him to Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers.
Coach is leaving, so he can come. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I'm telling you that right now.
You got for us?
I'm telling you that right now. Then I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna buy a jersey for every team that plays against San Francisco, and my ass gonna come on this show every week and wear it, because then I would despise them if they do that. I would despise the 49ers. Right now, it's just gonna be a mutual let go, a mutual separation. It's gonna be if everything goes like it's supposed to go, I'm just gonna say, it's been nice. I'm going to throw out all my 49ers stuff. I don't give it away. I just take it to the Goodwill. And that's how I always know what's down there for the Atlanta Falcons. Because they always have Falcon stuff when I go down there to the Goodwill and hand my stuff in. So when I do that, that's what I'll do. I don't think that's going to happen.
We still got to take our trip to the Big Lots.
I know.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, right down here by me, they got a Big Lots. And they got a whole, it's like one half of the store is dedicated to the Atlanta Falcons. The whole.
All right, Coach, what you got next on the tab?
It's crazy. All right, next up, we're going to talk about LSU. Guys, I don't know if y'all noticed, LSU was in the news the other day. First of all, tell me about what's going on with this Derrius Guice deal here. I mean, I don't know if you guys read about it or not, but is that Jason?
What's that? It's probably
I heard Jason coming in.
Oh, no.
If you guys didn't know, first of all, we're going to talk about what they did firing. They fired their law firm that handles all of their legal cases to deal with like Title IX complaints and all that, because they said they withheld information from them about some sexual misconduct that was going on that the firm apparently knew about, but they didn't alert the athletic department. So they've had like a 30-something year relationship with this law firm, but they let them go because they didn't notify them about some of these sexual misconduct cases. So Travis, I'll let you speak to that first.
Yeah, it's just crazy, everything that's going on. This all kind of stemmed from the Derrius Guice situation that's still, of course, going on with everything that happened with him. And I'm sure, Coach, we were going to get into this too with, they're basically scrubbing his name out of the record books. They want nothing to do with him. You're going to look back a year from now and it's just going to say, whatever year he played, I can't remember the exact year, but it's just going to say running back in the number. And it's not going to say anything about Guice or Derrius or DG or anything like that. It's going to be a number. So it's pretty crazy that all this is now coming out and everything that has happened that kind of got, put under the table, and no one thought that would be a good idea to let it be known. They thought they were just going to get away with it.
Irv, talk to me.
And the crazy thing is, and Travis hit it to the T, but we did hear about some of that stuff when they drafted him in Washington.
Yep.
But it wasn't to this extent with Guice. So I think that the law firm basically tried to hush a lot of things that was going on in the LSU program altogether. And he was one of the hugest
pieces of that. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, I'm not surprised about the Guice situation. But the real situation is in the next couple of years, what else are we going to hear that was hidden from LSU?
Amen to that. Now here's my take on this, and I think it's a little almost kind of comical when you say that they're going to scrub him from the record book. Because guess what all the other players are going to do who played there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you ain't really number 6. That's really where Derrius Guice was really the 6th greatest of all time, because Guice would be right there. But, they took him out. They took him out of the record book. I mean,
some guy named...
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's kind of like right now if you said, we're going to throw out what the Lakers did last year because of the pandemic. Well, when you go down and see in 2020 and see a blank right there, you say, oh, that's where the Lakers won right there. But they decided they were going to scrub it out. So, I mean, you can say it didn't happen, and you can say it's not there, but it's there. So, I mean, I just find that to be a little weird that they're going to take it out of record. But at the end of the day, put an asterisk beside and put an asshole. I mean, do something like that. But, I mean, to just remove him from the record book, I don't really get how you do that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like he wasn't there. He was there. I mean, bad of a person as he may have been, he was there and he did that. And that's just weird to me about quote unquote. I would be really wanting to see if the SEC is going to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Or is he going to be in the SEC record book, but not in the LSU record book? Then that looks even crazier.
Yeah.
So that's my whole take on that.
Now, the other thing I was just wondering real quick is with LSU, I wonder if they're going to take out the, we all saw what happened after they won the national championship with Beckham handing out money to all the players. I don't think anything's come out of that yet. I wonder if they're going to, look into that now too, because kind of everything's getting looked at. I'm not saying it will or won't, but I wonder if they may just say, let's just look into everything all at once so we can just scrub the whole, football program.
I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that they don't do that, because at the end of the day, when you're in there having a big celebration like that and the stuff's going on, you can't control every jackass in there. I mean, you just can't. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of bodies rolling around in there that probably shouldn't even be in there. You can't do that. So I would hope that they wouldn't do that. I mean, we'll see if they decide to go that route. Irv, what you think about that? Irv, you there? I don't think Irv can hear us. Irv, can you hear me, Travis?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think Irv is out again. So we're going to go ahead and move on. All right, next on the list. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't talk about the hiring, because they did do some good things. They hired Kim Mulkey. Kim Mulkey, in my opinion, is the second best women's basketball coach behind Gino Auriemma, and her numbers say that. She's had more victories. She's had more national championships. She's had more top 10 teams, whatever, than anybody other than Gino Auriemma. So I think she's a great hire at LSU. Irv, you're the basketball guy. Tell me what you think.
This is probably the best hire that LSU could have had. She's coveted. She's from Louisiana. She's a straight up winner. So this is the best choice that she could have as a coach. She's home. They're going to win. No complaints. And plus she had the support from Baylor from switching from one school to another.
Travis, what you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good hire from LSU. I'm actually a little disappointed. Of course, I'm a South Carolina fan, so this is just one more SEC team that South Carolina's got to worry about. And LSU actually has a pretty good, women's team already. They just, without Kim Mulkey, they're, a decent women's basketball team. So for LSU as a whole, I do think it's a very good hire, her coming back. I think it definitely hurts Baylor. We'll see what happens to them. But for LSU and the SEC, very good hire.
Let me say this, because a lot of times I think people missed the boat on some things in college athletics. One of the best things that she does, and I'm sure she's a damn good coach and all that, I guarantee you she's even a better recruiter because you can't win championships unless you got the people there that can play the sport. And I guarantee she goes out and does her own recruiting, and she's probably in the homes of many of those parents and talking to them about how, she's going to take care of their daughters and this and that and whatnot. And that's what you got to do, is you got to somehow figure out a way to get those kids to choose you over everybody else, over the Gino Ariamas of the world, and over the what's the girl's name in South Carolina? Y'all's coach track.
Dawn Staley.
Dawn Staley. She's another very good coach. I mean, there are some very good Muffet McGraws out there. Is another great coach. I think she's at Notre Dame. Yeah. I mean, there are some very good women's coaches out there. And there are some very good women's programs out there. Stanford, I know that's another one. They just won the national championship, I think. Was it this year? Did they win it this year?
Yeah, they won it this year.
Yeah, they won it this year. So that's what I'm saying. There are some very good programs out there. And for her to go and get the players that she wants, to come to LSU is what's going to make her successful. So
hey, real quick before I jump in, a lot of the clips and a lot of the photos I put up is actually from Irv's site, Big Irv versus the Sports World. I believe it's a group on Facebook. So I'll have Urban. I'll get him to shout it out at the end, but check it out. Join the group. I mostly get all my sports information from his group because he gets up there pretty quickly with it. So just wanted to shout that out where we get most of our clips, because I got people asking where do we pull our clips from outside of YouTube. It's usually I get it off Irv's site. So shout out to Irv on that. But yeah, continue.
Okay.
Hey, Jason, checks in the mail. Thank you.
Real quick, I do know a little bit with Kim Mulkey, this situation. I think she had a player, one of her players had a child, in college and still, on the team, and she was helping out her player with, odds and ends type things, legal NCAA things like, maybe watching the kid while the player was in class or something like that, because she of course is a mother herself, so she's really helped. And there have been multiple situations of her helping out her players on difficult situations like that. Showing that she really cares and wants to help and make a difference.
Yeah, I've never heard a bad word about Kim Mulkey, like, at all, and she's been in the game coaching for years.
Yep.
So that's why I said she's going to bring a good word and good ear to LSU.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about somebody, speaking of bringing a good word. Let's talk about somebody who didn't bring such a good word. Let's talk about Charles Barkley. Did y'all hear the comment Charles Barkley made about the University of Georgia?
I did.
And how they named their mascot? Jay, go ahead and roll that clip on Charles Barkley. And y'all listen to these comments Charles Barkley made.
Have you noticed my bow tie tonight?
I noticed a little Georgia Bulldog. I mean, I think it's cute the way y'all name your mascot after the women who walk around down there, Bulldog.
Some things dignify a response.
Offended.
Georgia Auburn Saturday.
In Athens. Only the ugly ones. Only the ugly ones got offended. Hey, sorry.
Listen, Herb, you the basketball guy. I'm gonna come to you first. What do you say about Big Charles?
Well, first of all, he's not one to hold his tongue when it comes to some women now.
Not at all.
Because when it comes to San Antonio, they got some big old women down there. Victoria's Secret is not a secret there. He got some comments that, he's acknowledged it multiple times. He's just having fun. He's not strictly just talking about a specific person. Yeah, them churros.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But his sense of humor is something that 48 states does not like. So, I mean, I've been watching basketball since he got drafted, which was pretty much my early years, and he hasn't held his tongue for women, role models, and more. But if you don't know his sense of humor, you're gonna take it the way that everybody's taking it right now.
All right, what do you think, Travis?
Yeah, I think it's just funny. I'm not sure that's really what he believes, right? I think he plays a little bit of an act on their TNT show to get the likes and the subscribes and the videos, but it sure is funny. And yeah, he always comes up with one or two good stories or one-liners or whatever every year that always gets clipped off, and we or somebody else ends up kind of running with. So he was probably just had a bad day and wanted to get on one, and saw his co-host with his Georgia Bulldog tie, and of course he's an Auburn guy, so he's got to make a comment about Georgia when he's Auburn. So yeah, that's I don't think he means it by any means. I think he's just being a character on their show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Roberts says he's got enough money. He doesn't care if he loses his job. I would certainly hope that Charles Barkley wouldn't lose his job over something like that. Guys, it was a joke. I mean, if we can't laugh about that kind of stuff, then shame on us. And I mean, I would really hate for him to lose his joke. I mean, I've actually had the pleasure of knowing and meeting and seeing Charles Barkley many times. He used to live in Leeds, Alabama. That's where he's from. And I lived in Birmingham, and he would come to the gym to shoot basketballs all the time. So I talked to him numerous times. And then when I got to go into the SEC Legends at our ceremony, me and him and another one of the SEC Legends went out and spent the night out and had a good time. So Charles is a good guy. He's a very lovable, very friendly, real nice guy. I think a lot of times you see sides of him that or might be a little bit coarse and whatnot, but it's just because of what people ask him. And they ask him things that are controversial because they want to get a rise out of him so that they can get a little, 5-10 second, something they can show on TV or whatever. So, a sound bite. So in any event, I don't look at that as being anything but funny. I will watch that clip over and over again when I feel like I want to laugh, because it's one of those things that you do that for. And we wanted to share it with you guys on here. I hope nobody's offended by it. I think that it was just absolutely hilarious that he did that. Before we go on and talk about Irv's tennis shoes, let's talk about something that's a little bit more important that happened this week that we want to talk about. And we want to talk about LeBron James. The King was back in the news again. And I guess I actually wrote this when I saw it. To tweet or not to tweet, is that the question? Here's what bothers me about all this. When LeBron James gets upset and has an issue with something that somebody's doing or whatever the case may be, you can't have it both ways, because this is what happens. Some people want LeBron to go out there and talk about everything, and they're always shoving a microphone in his face. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Other people are in the shut up and dribble, but you can't have it both ways. So when he found out that somebody in his home state of Ohio was killed by a police officer, was shot and killed by a police officer, he put that tweet out saying, "You're next," as in the whole Derek Chauvin trial. You're next. Hashtag accountability that you see right there. He later pulled it down when he found out the circumstances that were involved in the case. That the man shot the girl, but the girl had lunged at somebody with a knife, and so he shot her to keep her from hurting someone else. Now, there's all kind of issues in there that we're not going to get involved in this show, because when you do that, you get to where, you are second guessing and doing all these other kind of things. I heard one account say that the man shot the girl 6 times and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But as you see what LeBron wrote here, and I'll read it for you if you can't read it. I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. This isn't about one officer. It's about the entire system, and they always use our words to create more racism. I'm so desperate for more accountability. Now, I will say this, and I'm not a guy that's going to hop on Twitter and hop on Instagram and send something out in a moment of rage. I don't do that. But I share LeBron's sentiments about seeing black men, black women, whatever, being killed by police, because it just seems to happen every day. I mean, as we are upset or we're celebrating, you know, this whole thing about Chauvin and whatnot, 2 or 3 more went down that same day. And it's just like, when is this gonna stop? And it just seems like it's never ending. So I can understand him being upset and whatnot, but in any event, I would not have reacted the way that he did. Irv, tell me what you think.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way. Now, I've been known to throw some words out on Twitter myself, but it's not to the extent that if I ever get famous, somebody can look back at it and say, "Well, look what he said here." But yeah, when I first saw it before he took it down, because I am a follower of LeBron, I didn't take it the way that everybody took it. Like, my first thought process was, he did that because it's his home state. The situation wasn't good at all. And then we had another situation where the officer used the gun first, where they could have used the taser. I think he felt the same way with that situation as well. I think now it's just so many people are going to the end all be all before the calm down situation steps in the whole, you know, in every police situation. Like, if you're really fearing for your life, you have to try to attempt to calm the situation or slow down the situation before you take your gun out and handle it that way.
I agree. Travis.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys just said. You know, I don't have Twitter, so I didn't see any of this. I heard about this, you know, a day or two after this stuff even happened with, you know, what he said and then took down and then reposted and all that stuff. So I you know, didn't even see, you know, what was going on. I have a feeling it was a case of he wanted to say something and he did. Because it was important to him, and, you know, especially in the area in Ohio. And then his agent or somebody said, may not be the best, you know, he may not be the best decision to do something like this because he's such a big public figure. And that's got to be tough for someone, you know, with, you know, at LeBron's stature, that, you know, he's almost damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he says something, he's going to rile up one group, and if he doesn't say something, he's going to rile up another group. So I think he, you know, probably got a phone call and just said, yeah, maybe want to take that down, and then he did and put this one up to kind of clarify his statement. But he's definitely, you know, he and a lot of other, you know, famous, you know, people. If you're famous, that's, you know, part of the luxury and part of the dredge of that happening, because anything you say is going to be scrutinized, and you know, way more than if I said something or somebody else, you know, one of us said something that, you know, so you definitely feel bad for, you know, something like that. You can only really say and do so much before you're going to get scrutinized one way or the other.
Where do you guys stand on, and Irv, I'll come to you first. Where do you guys stand on, you know, LeBron is because he is such a public figure and he has all these followers and all that, you know, he has some accountability himself for some of the stuff that he says. He could be inciting a riot or, you know, doing things like that. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like LeBron has that, you know, that type of weight on his shoulders when he decides he wants to vent or he wants to go out there and put something on Twitter and whatnot? Why shouldn't he be allowed to vent the way that you're allowed to vent, or I'm allowed to vent, or Travis or whoever?
Well, absolutely. He should be able to vent and say what he has to say and say whatever he wants to say. I mean, that's the main thing that everybody says. This is a free country. This is what this is the type of situations that you want to speak out on. But the crazy thing is it's hard for him to speak out on it because of where he is. So you'll have people that love him but don't agree with his stance on a lot of things, and the first thing they say is, well, I can't like him no more because that's how he feels.
Gotcha.
But it's all entertainment what he does. If you thinking about him in a personal light, but you're hating him for his personal takes,
Mhm.
like you're kind of putting yourself in a situation where you're not going to win yourself. So I mean, on one end, I want him to speak out because he does have that platform, but he has had situations where he said he won't speak on certain things because he needs more research. So I think he had that one glitch in the matrix where he just put out that tweet and then he went back and thought about it and then he put out the next tweet with what you read off.
Well, Jay just sent a question and said, should LeBron have the freedom to speak out, right or wrong? Whether it's right or wrong, should he have the freedom to speak out?
Isn't that what everybody argues about?
I'm with you. I would agree with you there. Travis.
Yeah, should he be able to do that? Absolutely. I'm not, I don't think anyone's saying that he should have. I don't know if the question is should he have the right to? Because of course he has the right to do that. As a citizen of this country, right? That's what we all have that right. It's almost more of, is it smart for him to speak out? Is almost, I think, the question, because yes, he has the ability, right? He's a citizen of this country, so yes, he has that. But it's almost he is it in his best interest to do this?
Let me do this to all the people, because we're getting a lot of folks saying he should be able to speak out. Rick Rando said that. So did Mr. Butler. Obviously, you guys said it. So let me ask another question. And I want all you guys that answered yes, he can speak out, to answer this for me. If LeBron spoke out and said, I'm tired of black people being shot in this country, so what I want every black person to do right now is to head toward the Capitol, and we're going to raid the Capitol right now. Should he be held accountable for that because he's speaking out and they're going and raiding the Capitol?
I would say I'll answer that first. I would say no, because every individual has their own mind, their own thought process, has their own decision to do what he does. But just because LeBron says, I want you to go walk Washington, D.C. and raid the Capitol, that doesn't mean you have to do it, right? So every single person is accountable for their actions.
Okay, what do you think?
I agree, because last time I checked, it was a situation that happened a little while ago that people actually did it. You got idiots that will follow that step, though. If somebody comes out and says, yeah, we got to, everybody go get a gun. We're going to jump to the White House. We're going to handle this ourselves. That part.
I know, because here's the deal. Here's the question, because there are people in our society like LeBron James, like Muhammad Ali was, like a lot of sports stars are, where, like Michael Jordan is right now. If Michael Jordan, LeBron James, whatever, to get on TV and say, hey, black people, we're tired of the way we're being treated. We're tired of the way things are being done. We are going to boycott Georgia because, we're not going to do anything in Georgia because of what they're doing with the voting rights laws. Or they say, hey, Minnesota, with all this stuff going on in Minnesota, nobody's going to buy anything in Minnesota. And now things start happening with the economy or whatever the case may be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Is that something that you feel like should be, or even if they did say something that was illegal, not just boycotting, they say, hey, we're going to go out here and shut down I-85. Everybody's going to go out there and stand in the road. And now you have ambulances where they can't get through or whatever. should these people be held accountable for that or not?
I think if it has a negative aspect, they should be held accountable. You know, because like Travis said, we all control our own bodies. So whatever I say that I want you guys to do, you don't have to do it. So, but if you're the main person that's starting a whole bunch of crap, you're going to be the first hit man on the list. You're going to be the first hit person on the list. Okay. So that part of it, yeah, you can't be the leader of a negative situation. No, not at all.
Travis, last word.
Yeah, you know, like I said, he can say it if he wants to. I don't, foresee him doing something like that. But if he wants to do something like that, and people want to follow him, if he's just sitting on his computer or his iPhone not doing anything, somebody else does it, it's up to that person, Joe Schmo, whoever, to do it if they want to do that. And they should be held accountable because, at the end of the day, who was the one that did the crime? Was it LeBron James or was it, Joe Schmo? If it was Joe Schmo and LeBron didn't do anything, he can say whatever he wants to. So you don't have to listen to him. You don't have to follow him.
Okay. I'm gonna close this segment just by saying this. I mean, the reason I'm asking these questions is, there's that old adage about yelling fire in a crowded theater. And, so that's what I would ask for some people to think about as we move on to our last topic of the night. Last topic of the night we're going to talk about, I guess you guys heard, Kanye West, I guess, is now in the sneaker business. I don't know why, but he chose to call his shoe the Yeezy, like Y-E-E-Z-Y, the Yeezy. Jay, do you by chance have a picture of the Yeezys that we can put up here? That's the Yeezy right there. And those shoes, not just that one, thank God there were at least two of them, sold for $1.8 million. Now, I do not see any kind of rocket thrusts on the bottom of those shoes or anything like that that's going to make somebody fly or anything of that nature. I don't see, maybe there is a telephone on the bottom or something where you can call people using those shoes. To me, they just look like a pair of tennis shoes. So $1.8 million. Now, I was told that they were purchased by somebody who lives in Washington, D.C. Irv, can you show us the shoe?
Listen. I don't. Were those the particular shoes they sold for the one?
That was them.
So
that's it right there.
Now I do. Those are the originals. I do know that. But listen. The most expensive shoe I own is some foam posits. Those cost a pretty penny, but no, I'm not touching that 1 point nothing. If you have to describe a price that says 1 point, I'm out.
He wore them at the Grammys. Is that what it is? Is that what makes him so valuable, Mr. Peavy? He wore them at the Grammys. Okay, well that helps.
No, it don't.
Maybe that helps.
No, it don't.
But anyway, Travis, what do you think?
I think somebody's got a little bit too much money and they need to be spending it on somebody else. But you know what? What's the old adage? Don't spend somebody else's money. So if that's what they want to buy it, go for it. I ain't got that kind of money. I wouldn't buy it even if I did. But hey, if that's what they wanted to buy, let them buy it. So
but Travis, when somebody spends $1.8 million for some tennis shoes, I think it's okay for you to spend that money for them because they obviously are insane and they need some help knowing what to do with some damn money. Now, I was watching this on First Take today, and Stephen A. Smith said $150 is the most he spent for some shoes. And then they called him out on it. They said, well, I meant sneakers. He said, I will not spend more than $150 for a pair of sneakers. And I'm with Stephen A. I ain't spending that much. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you look at all the shoes, and I probably own 50 pair of sneakers up there in my closet. But I guarantee you this, not one of them costs more than $80. Not one pair of those shoes up there costs. That's my limit.
Hey,
If it's more
hey,
than
how much was them Kyries? How much was them Kyries, man?
those Kyries were on sale for $75, Jay. And I told you that. I told you that day. That's the reason I was gonna buy them, because they were on sale. But I'm gonna tell you this though, Jay, and this guy's untrue. My son bought me a pair of shoes, tennis shoes. They cost like $150. And I just wore those shoes for the first time after a year of just sitting in my room outside the box, just sitting on the floor in my room, because I can't wear these shoes because number one, they're white. They're predominantly white. You know, they got black and red on them. But I was like, I feel like I'm gonna get these shoes dirty if I wear them. And as much as these shoes cost, I just didn't even want to wear them. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I wore them for the first time the other day after having those shoes in my house for over a year. Because, dude, I just think that's too much to spend on shoes. That's just me.
Well,
Irv, what's your top price for a shoe?
Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, before I tell you how much I paid, Jason, you might want to look it up, man. Look at the most recent Yeezys that came out. And you see how ugly these things are. That'll change your mind on how those other ones look. But yeah, I think the max price tag I've paid is $120. And
120?
And I bought it just for basketball only.
Okay.
But all the walk around shoes, like I got a bunch of shoes where I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at $40, $30, $50. Yeah, I think the most expensive shoes I've worn when I played sports.
All right, let me ask Travis. Hold on, I gotta ask you a pre-question first, Travis. Travis, do you own a pair of tennis shoes?
Yes, I own one pair of tennis shoes.
There they are, the Yeezy 450s.
Travis, what's the most you paid for a pair of tennis shoes?
Probably about $100.
$100.
Yeah, probably
$490
with taxes.
Jason is showing some of the ugliest shoes I've ever seen for $490. That is the ugliest shit, excuse my language, that I have ever seen in my life. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a Yeezy. Yeah. I mean, y'all are educating me on this show, because I never ever. Look at the comments over here. Hideous.
You're getting educated. I don't even know what half these comments mean. I don't know what's an NFT. I don't know what that is.
Hey, Nip. I didn't pay $150. I did pay $150 for them. I know they $260, man, but I paid $150.
Guys, here's the thing about it. So you'll see shoes in my closet. You'll be like, I know that shoe. That's a $100 and some shoe. Not when I bought it. It wasn't. Not when it was on that back wall in the Nike Superstore with no top on it. The box had no tops on it. It wasn't at no damn $200 in. Now I'm gonna tell you this. My son, for years, has been a shoe collector. So he has like every Jordan that ever came out and all this other stuff. And my son, I watched him now. I would give him and my daughter $500 each for Christmas. Back when they were coming up, I said, hey, we're going to have a limit on this thing. When I saw myself spending $1,000 a piece. So I said, I'm going to give you $500. My son will go buy 2 pair of Jordans and be happy. He like, I'm done. My daughter would take all week long shopping, trying to spend her money, all that. My son would be like, 2 pair of Jordans, please. He'd already picked out what he wanted, and he might have $20 left over, and he was happy as he could be. So, again, me personally, I'm not spending money like that. I just think that there is a limit to everything that you purchase. I don't think that, like, I would never buy a watch that costs more than $50, in my opinion. I'm not buying watches that cost more than $50. Because what I use a watch for, I don't use a watch to make me look good or to show my status or whatever. I know this is amazing. I know this. Everybody listen to this. I use a watch to tell me what time it is. That's all I use a watch for. I know other people want to find out how many calories they burned and this and that and how many steps they walk. All I need my watch to do is tell me what time it is. That's all I need. So I'm not paying more than $50 for a watch to tell me what time it is. Real quick, we're going to talk about Brett Favre. Jay don't want to let him get off the hook. Go ahead, Dan. Play Brett Favre, the
You know,
little thing
I
here.
find it hard to believe, and I'm not defending Derrick Chauvin in any way. I find it hard to believe, first of all, that he intentionally meant to kill George Floyd. That being said, his actions were uncalled for. I don't know what led to that video that we saw where his knee is on his neck. But the man had thrown in the towel, and it was just uncalled for.
I mean, I'll let y'all do it. Then I'll close out the show. Go ahead, Herb.
This is one of those shut up and dribble moments. But he, you know, the one thing we do got to do is allow him to clear out a mistake that he felt he made. You know, second chance is what we live on in this country. But to say he didn't mean to kill anybody, none of us mean to do anything that's negative in our lives. But in the heat of a moment, we decide to do things that we're not happy about. So, I mean, you can't say that because you're not in his body either. So I know.
Travis.
Yeah, I agree with everything Herb just said. I don't really have much. This is actually the first time I basically heard about this. So yeah, just stupid remarks by an old football player that just needs to go away.
I know. I mean, it's like Jason and I talked about it briefly earlier. I'm not a big Brett Favre fan and all that other stuff. So I mean, I could really care less either way about what he says. I do think it's just tasteless for him to say something like that. I mean, in light of the fact that he knows it's a big story and everything else. And I just think that sometimes you just need to learn how to just be quiet about something. And, you can feel the way you want to feel and all that. But, it's that thing that they say about, opening your mouth and removing all doubt about how stupid you are. So a lot of times it's just better just be quiet and let everybody think you're a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. And I think that, Mr. Favre will probably learn from that little adage that we have right there. But it is what it is. Everybody got something to say or whatever. So anyway, folks, it's 9:05. We're actually 5 minutes overtime. We're about to get out of here. There you see the big man who's behind the scenes handling everything. Big J's are in here too. Thank you, Jason, for all that you do. Travis, Big Irv, thank you guys. There you see the site that he's talking about, Big Irv versus the People. He named his radio show after when he had to go to court.
I had to, man. Your word against mine. And I'm always losing. And that's basically what my group is about. I want to hear what everybody's word is, and it's never everything I always say is devil's advocate. It's never my opinion. I just want to put my name on it, just because it's people scared to say the actual words.
I hear you, and it's just when he went to court, it was the People versus Big Irv instead of Big Irv versus the People.
It's my word against yours. I could delete your comment.
And for Travis, for those of you who have not heard, Travis is having a girl.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Travis had his gender reveal party the other day. I was out of town. I did not wasn't able to see it. So congratulations to Travis. Travis, I can say I think for the Straight from the Hip Nation, we are hoping and praying that your daughter looks like her mother.
Facts.
That's true.
So, anyway, folks, we got to get out of here. We'll see y'all again next week. Let's all say a prayer for Miss Annette Hood, that Julio gets drafted to somewhere where there's warm weather or gets traded so she can go see her baby in his little tight pants and all that stuff.
Dropping all the passes.
Dropping all the balls.
Leave Julio alone, man.
Good night, Miss Francis.
Oh my word.
Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you all next week.